Okay, we got cross positions. Hello, everybody. I start the stream now. Fearles is just managing some clicks right now, and I'm co-moderating this game today. And for those players who don't know me, it's Steckenpferd. And I don't know what you can see right now, but we got cross positions and we got Romans and Asians. The Asian players are Don Klinge and Alternativfrage, and the Roman players are TSK and Huppsy. You might think who have banned what races. Fearles didn't show the start because it took quite long, the game to start and the banning phase to start, but Don Klinge was the first player to ban, and he decided to ban Egypts and Romans. And Alternativfrage, on the other hand, banned Amazons, so they had to play the Asians. TSK had the second banning phase, and he banned the Egyptians and the Amazons. Therefore, Huppsy banned Asians, and they both have to play Romans in this case.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you for welcoming everybody, and hello everyone as well. The positions are indeed cross, and they're the Romans are very, very far away. So it looks like it will be like a 1v1 maybe versus Asians versus Romans. In this case, like left versus right. I don't see Romans attacking each other in this game. It'll be
At least for a long time. I don't know how long this game will go. We were talking about this in the beginning. We think all players are equally strong. They're on an equal footing, especially because the Asian players don't play their main races. I think they're somewhat experienced on this race, but it's not their main race.
Yeah,
it's different. It's different on TSK and Huppsy. They both play Romans most of the games, and I'm not sure how they will perform to each other.
I was also talking about how Alternative likes to play Egyptians, and they banned that away from him, which was, I mean, it's to be expected when you have the Power BI tool and you can check which players favor which race. So let's see how he goes, because I mean, I think he will be he might mess up the most, if I'm being honest. I don't think I've ever seen him play Asians. I'm sure he had, but let's see how the spots look like. Quite a bit of desert for the Asians, but also a fair bit of land. I see one swamp by the lake. Not sure if there's another one close by. Can you see another swamp?
I can see there are more swamps, 3 swamps at total for the Asian, which are in the nearest range, but only one is quite near. And at least for the left position, Alternativfrage got, in my opinion, the better cross position for the rice farmers. So there are sometimes not equal the spots, and in this case, this is a minor inconvenience in my opinion.
There's an interesting lake, and there's interesting patch of land in it. I'm pretty sure you can build a tower there, right? like everything.
Yes.
I don't know why would you do that, although it's very difficult to capture such tower. Maybe.
It is an interesting tower. I know what you mean. Looks like the campaign map where you have to conquer an AI.
Yeah, but you're right. Only one swamp. There are 3 swamps, but only one you can easily build on. The one on the steep hill by the lake is almost unreachable, I would say. And the other one is, I mean, alright. I don't see any swamp going towards the middle. But there's one big one, but it's quite far. It's closer to the Roman side.
In this matchup, it might not be as important to go in the mid of the map for the Romans. They got quite a lot mountain nearby if they spy it. With the Asian player, on the other hand, The most mountain is on the cross position, on the cross border, and therefore they have to move more to this position.
Yeah, I would imagine the Asian will go, the red Asian will go, the Dongkling will go like bottom and then like south and maybe east a little bit. West, sorry. But looks like black is already going towards him. He wants to establish the border maybe. Make sure he has this whole mountain for himself. I'm not sure how I feel about this. Maybe it's too early. You don't really need to be that aggressive. But I guess he isn't losing much time if he just builds one tower there.
What I can tell from now, if we compare both Asians, Alternativfrage is a little bit faster at this moment. He got already 2 sawmills. He already got 2 minor residences, small residences. And I don't know why, but Donklinge is shoveling waterwork. I don't know if it's to access the swamp we were talking about, but in this moment I don't think it's that much of had much of use.
Right, so you think he wants to like level the ground and then build a
yes,
a rice
it might,
plantation?
this is my only explanation I can see in this position. He might lock down those trees. He's leveling this position as you were telling, and he might have an early second access to swamp. This is the only idea I have. And then he has the better position because on the other side, Alternativfrage will never build, because of the river running to the mountain, will never build a rice farmer there. This could be a minor push-up for his position.
I think he would have to cut some of the trees anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
That's interesting, yeah. Fitted. But I don't think that's why he leveled it. Maybe he just didn't have anything to level at this point, and he decided to level the waterworks, because he used only a couple of shovelers, as far as I remember.
Yes.
Okay, so the Donkling is going for 2 small and 1 medium house, whereas Alternative goes for 3 small houses. And even I'm not sure which is better, to be honest.
I think Alternativfrage has seen the analysis from Nogger, where he was telling he would every game play with 3 small residences because he wants early geologists and spies. And it's quite important because what I can see here, we got the early geologists, we got an early expansion, so the Asian got enough space. And what he did quite early was sending some spies to the enemy position. I have to check if I can find them actually. But Alternativfrage wanted to have early intel in this case.
I wonder, he probably went to the Roman opponent, not to the Asian counterpart, I'd assume. Although Huppsy is patrolling, or just sending swordsmen across. Maybe he's afraid of the spies, I guess.
TSK already is doing a run through at the Asian, so they know what is happening right now.
But I think that's a bit too early. You're not gonna get much intel at this point in the game. Even if like Asian were to rush, he still would have gone for 3 sawmills, I presume. I don't think he's rushing with 2.
What we can tell right now at TSK is he has already not enough settlers. The logs are at the woodcutters. His sawmill wasn't running right now. It's now running again, but he's definitely missing settlers. And this is slowing down his economy. But on the other hand, Huppsy, in comparison, has enough settlers, but not enough trees in the future, I can tell, because he only has 1 forester. The second forester is coming. And we got 2 different mistakes leading to the same problem, a slowed down economy. And we will see which player will be faster in the future.
Yeah, that's true. But I think as long as the two sawmills from Huppsy are working, it's all fine. He has the roaming woodcutter in the south.
Yes.
That should help him quite a bit. And there are some trees by the mountain. I think he should capture that land and cut them off so he has a nice space for the weaponsmith production and whatnot. Although you're right, the TSK went a bit like he made like 5 geologists very very quickly, but then he had only one small residence, which is just not enough to support the amount of buildings he had. Although he's catching up now, I think.
And in comparison, Huppsy already has 3 wineries, and his car is just finishing his first. He got a bigger wood production, yes, but he also will have late level 2, I assume.
Yeah, unless he messes up with the small temples. And I think now would be a good idea, good timing to scout. That's because this is the time where players make important decisions, whether you build...
Yeah, this is exactly the time, and we can see it at the Asian, where Alternativfrage is already hammering his iron smelter, and meanwhile is Don Klinge hammering his rice farmer and planning his next farm. So they definitely need to know what his opponent is doing, and he's also shoveling 2 big temples.
So that looks like a rush from Alternative, and I know him such as a rush player, so there's no surprise in that. I wonder if they have intel on that, maybe, because the Huppsy is building the iron smelter already, and the weaponsmith as well.
Yes.
Let me check whether he has some spies on Alternative. It doesn't look like it, unless they died recently. Because I presume if Alternative will rush, he will push Huppsy.
Yeah, I would say so too. But I don't know if they're doing a rush. I think both players should commit to the plan, in my opinion. And yet I can't tell if TSK is committing to such a game plan, because he is also hammering his farm. And if I want to rush as a team, or play any strat as a team, I would play together.
I think TSK doesn't really have much of a plan currently, because he has only one winery and building a farm. And then I think, yeah, he's now moving the resources towards the weaponsmith and an iron smelter. So that's a weird rush, if you ask me, with the farm.
And he got many more problems. He has now 4 stone cutters, and he's already lacking stone. He got enough wood now, but he will definitely not be finishing his iron smelters quick.
He has a bit of... he stacked up wood from before, and I think 4 stone cutters is fine, as long as they work very well, and you can see one of it is far away from the stone fields, so he's very slow and efficient.
And the 4th was just finished and now working.
Interesting. So I guess maybe it had an idea of making gold, but it's not the case, because TSK found gold and he's not building any mines over there, so we'll have to see. Yeah, he's now adding another winery.
If we can look at Huppsy, Alternativfrage is actually spying with the spy exactly what Huppsy is doing, and he's standing near to the iron smelter, which is not running right now, and the weaponsmith is not even shoveled. This is a quite big delay for Alternativfrage already making his first weapon, and we will soon see what kind of play he's going for. If he's just wanted to have early level 2, or if it's to be a sword rush, because the first weapon is a sword.
I'd presume it's a rush. He found 2 good mines. At least the iron was very good. I'm not sure about the coal. So maybe he thought that's a good idea to use that to make a push or something. Now I wonder if Huppsy is building the weaponsmith later on purpose, because it's a viable strat to build the iron smelter first, and then build 2 weaponsmiths, so that you have 2 weaponsmiths working on like just one iron smelter. But I don't see him shoveling another one, so maybe that was just a mistake of him building the iron smelter too soon.
That's correct. And meanwhile, where Alternativfrage is planning his rush, we're going to see the second farm on Don Klinge. And he's also hammering his iron smelter, but he will be late in comparison to Alternativfrage. And also in comparison to TSK, who just finished his iron smelter and smith, but they are not running because he hasn't got enough settlers.
Yeah.
The stones are running short in his country or are not transported to the correct buildings.
He has no settlers currently. We can see that he's maybe has a bit of a stage fright. I mean, playing in a tournament can be stressful, so some people just underperform, which is, I mean, natural. Obviously, can happen. But I like to point out that the Don Klinge is very ballsy, playing 2 farms and not spying at all. I don't think he has any idea what's going on at Black's territory. And I presume his ally also is not really spying that great, because they would have seen the early weaponsmith and the continuous production of swords, it looks like, from Alternativfrage.
What I don't understand nor can support is that Alternativfrage is playing only with 6 woodloggers as far as I can tell. And he's planning on having 2 roaming woodloggers, but they're not built yet. And Asians are quite... They need the wood, and he's not finishing his mines in time. So this could be a problem for the running weaponsmith, and being so quick can be denied by not having the mines.
Yeah, that's true. I would say 6 like regular woodcutters and then adding 1 roaming would be enough, as long as they work perfectly. And to his defense, like, he has a pretty good forest, I would say. Lots of trees to cut, and the woodcutters don't really have to walk that far, but you can see it's not enough simply because one of the sawmills isn't working constantly.
Yes, it's definitely not enough. He could be quicker, and the investment of 6 planks is quite low for having a better running economy. And TSK is now committing as well to the plan of Alternativfrage, but he's doing it late. He got his first sword, and in my opinion, there is no need of a farm if you go for a sword rush, because sword rushes in that early are often, rush or crush. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
It's hard to come back.
And now we can see Don Klinge is sending a spy. It got spotted by the TSK soldiers, but I think it will get far enough to spot these swords. Although I'm not quite sure. Like, the range on the spy is quite big, but I'm not sure if he saw what weapons were being made in the weaponsmith.
I'm pretty sure he did not see it. I would say he did not see it.
Yeah, he made bow first of his weaponsmith. Okay, Alternative has level 2, but he does not have barracks yet, so he cannot recruit. But then again, his weaponsmith will stop working soon because he doesn't have an iron. He put priority on the iron mine right now.
Huppsy is also doing bows, which I would not advise against a sword rush.
Exactly, you want to have spears or swords of your own in order to defend. I would say in this case it's fine making swords, because you don't really need to. You have 1 tower basically to defend. I have a theory that if you have multiple towers to defend, you go for spears, because then you can't defend with your whole. Because if you defend with your whole army, it's fine to have swords, but then if you have multiple towers, it's better to have spears, because spears last longer and they can hold the tower and wait for reinforcements more efficiently. Okay, he's recruiting now. Alternative is recruiting. There's no gold on the map, right? There's no godly gifts or anything like that.
I haven't seen yet. And the problem I have with Don Klinger as well right now, he also has no barracks, and he placed it, he didn't shovel it, so if he spots the rush right now, it's still pretty late to recruit any units.
Yeah, luckily for him, TSK is far away from level 2, because his build is not really that that ironed out, I would say. Now Alternative is pushing. Huppsy had to destroy his tower, and he's retreating to his last tower. Although there is a priest coming on from Alternative, from left-hand side, just entering, and he called in his swords that he recruited. As interesting play.
Okay.
He's gonna get to the tower about as equal timing to the swords from Huppsy, but let's see if he's gonna take it, because there's not...
Huppsy is not recruiting right now.
Yeah, he's balls of steel, I guess. Or he's just starting recruiting now, I presume. This is level 2 swords versus level 1, but the combat power isn't that high, it's only 30-70%.
He's now rushing to the tower. I think he should just fight down the swords and go to the tower, because he has 3 units in the tower, and
Yeah, he should
I
be
don't
fine.
think this will work. He will be fine.
It's very lackluster rush. Only 8 swordsmen with no combat power whatsoever. I mean, I'm very surprised that Alternative Flag thought it will work. Easily defended outside.
Now the level 1 soldiers are coming in, but I don't think they can change the outcome of this battle.
No, he should just push back, because then he won't have anything to defend any potential counterattack from Huppsy.
He now starts to produce the next iron bars, and he's just finished his first farm.
Yeah, so I guess that they will continue playing. I'm not really sure what their idea was, whether that was supposed to, I don't know, maybe scare the enemies and poke around. It could be that, but then again, I think he should have built like a rice farm at least sooner to have continuous mana production. Because now I feel like Don Klinger will just outproduce him very, very soon. Unless he dies to TSK, but I don't think so.
This is a game about Intel right now, because Don Klinger moves with swords into the backlands of Alternativfrage, and Alternativfrage crushes towers, even though I think Don Klinger has no level 2.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was a total bluff, or a mistake, I don't even know. And on the other hand, he neither has a barrack, so the build is cocky. Moving all his soldiers to distract Alternativfrage is also cocky. Having TSK on his front, ready with swords, or soon with swords. And if this works out, very good, Don Klinger, but you're playing at high stakes right now.
Playing with the devil, I'd say, because this is very, very ballsy. Luckily for him, like the enemies, they didn't really thought through their attack, and because TSK does not really have level 2 just yet, mostly because he committed to that farm instead of building the large temple that he is finishing right now. I wonder if he's even going to attack. Maybe if he spots that Don Klinger doesn't really have that much, he will try to poke a tower or 2. Because Don Klinger has 3 towers, and they're sort of separated from each other, so it's difficult to defend both south and north. But the north one can be just crushed with no issues whatsoever.
What I can tell now from Huppsy, he is, in my opinion, in a better state than Alternativfrage, his direct opponent, because we got 1 farm, we got 4 wineries, which are prospectively making him fast level 3 if he's adding the 4th temple, and he's making already bread. He got 2 fishers. I think at least 1 weaponsmith will run, and will run for quite a long time, and he's adding up, and Alternativfrage has to catch up with this already built economy, and I think it's hard now. He has to play precisely to catch up to Huppsy.
Yeah, I agree. Although Alternative has good minds, so maybe he will be fine. But from the situation right now, it looks like Huppsy is the most solid of them all. He did not make as many mistakes as everyone else, and he's just playing, I mean, standard game. He has a farm, added a bakery. I mean, I think he should add another weaponsmith at this point. He found some good mines, so that should not be an issue. And he had very good reaction to the attack that he received. He didn't really lose anything, and he recruited only a handful of bows to hold that off.
He truly did, and he's going on to play in a small nation, but it's quite effective on what he's doing. But now he's adding, it's like he listened to us. He's building a second weaponsmith.
Yes, and a toolsmith. That's a good timing. He saved a few hammers. I'm not sure if it's on purpose or not, but he should add also more mines at this point. I'm not really sure if he has another good iron mine, maybe built though next to the one that he already has, or there's another one right from the sulfur ore right there.
Donklinger at least has now level 2, and I think he will be recruiting. Yes, he is auto-recruiting, and there will be quite a load of bows coming out now. On the other hand, TSK is producing with 2 weaponsmiths, and he has also level 2 right now, and will recruit it. As soon as he... Oh, he's boosting his wineries, actually, with his first priest.
Interesting. And TSK is still producing swords.
Yes.
I'm not sure if that's a good idea. We can remember from Generalen and Senna's game, Generalen was making swords for quite some time, and I feel like if his opponent wanted to attack him, he would have been in a big trouble, because swords are not really good in big numbers, and very soon Donklinger will have a pretty sizable army. I mean, if TSK were to attack right now, recruit everything, yes, he could do some damage, but as time goes on, the swordsmen, they lose value dramatically.
Yes, they actually do, and you can always kite the players unless they want to force something. If Donklinger actually moves forward and back and he has time to play it, he can shoot the swords down if they have equal numbers.
Yeah, but I think Donklinger still needs a few more spearmen to tank for his army, because right now he's in a big danger. In order to defend, he would have to basically clamp his whole army together and defend as one, not split it between multiple towers. That might cause him a bit of trouble. Although he has a priest, and I presume he has coal. He can call reinforcements, yes. So as long as he does not turn stone into iron, and he can call reinforcements from his ally, he should be fine.
Alternativfrage already changed to bows and is adding 2 more big temples, so he can play with level 2 bows in this scenario. Unfortunately, he cannot cast stone to iron. He has to wait for his distillery to give him a little bit more mana. There we got an advantage for Donklinger, who is actually already running distillery.
Yeah, Donklinger is far in terms of economy, considering the 2 farms he had for quite some time. And now TSK has recruited most of his weapons. He casted 1 godly gift. He got 4 gold bars, and that gave him 40% combat power. Maybe he's waiting for the convert. No, not really. There's no way he can get that. He also got a few spearmen, and he has a spy north, so he can see that the tower north, actually 2 towers from Donklinger, are completely unprotected, and he's moving out to push them there. I would say he should attack at the other side of the map at the same time, or maybe first to distract his opponent and try to capture ideally the tower that's back in by the farm, not the one that's in front, because the one on front is not really covering anything. And yes, even if he takes that, he might destroy the farm if the other tower falls or Donklinger destroys it. Oh, okay, Donklinger spotted that and he crushed it.
Yes, and he crushed it. That's good. He has the awareness, and he's not losing anything there.
Yeah, and TSK, he can't really do much. He's sending pioneers, but I'm not really sure if he'll be able to do anything there. Oh, it's interesting. Don Klinge is now moving, attacking TSK from the other side. So I don't think he will be able to do some damage, maybe poke from his own land. And TSK spotted that, and he's now moving back half of his army, and then the other half's going left side. I'm not sure if that's a mistake, or he's purposely going to surround his enemy. It's worth pointing out that Don Klinge has a safe tower, or hidden tower, in the middle of the map. I'm not sure if the enemies know that. So he can crush the ones up front.
And he can, if he moves his priest more to the front already, also call some mate from Huppsy. But what I would advise Huppsy is to spy more or use his gained strength to bully Alternativfrage more, because he has a failed rush attempt and is the weaker player right now, and Huppsy has the number. If he would have intel for these fights going on, he could have known that he has either a way to help his friend by getting called, or is to bully Alternativfrage.
I think he's waiting by his tower, just so that his ally can call it, because it's just too far away, and they don't think he'll make it in time. And I think that's a correct call. Now, the priest was out of position for a bit, and I think TSK could have sniped it, but he did not, because it ran away south. Now we're gonna have a big fight, and let's see how it will play out.
Unfortunately, the armies are somewhat split, but TSK realized and is moving back. And he's pioneering the farm in the north.
Yeah, so he might be able to destroy that and not commit to the fight. He can block the barracks and leave a few soldiers there and kill newly produced soldiers. I think that would be pretty smart. Now that the priest has merged with the army, I don't think it's possible to kill Don Klinge. Now, anything that the TSK can do is just to take that farm and kill anything that spawns from the barracks. I think for Don Klinge, it would be best to just simply stop recruiting from those barracks, just to not lose weapons in a silly way.
Oh, the farm got crushed.
That's a little bit of a victory right there. Now, Don Klinge has to make a difficult decision, because he cannot let TSK stay there forever. However, if he leaves the tower up front, he will have to call his allies' reinforcements or call his army back in order to defend it.
But right now, TSK is not correctly fighting, and swords die by swords. And I would really advise Don Klinge to produce some spears, at least from the barracks, because when the fight will be at the barracks now, he could recruit needed melees.
He's not making any spears still. And there's another attack coming from TSK, trying to capture this tower, but there's a priest there. And he has enough mana to call reinforcement. There's no way this tower is falling. But I think TSK is doing a good job of using his swordsmen, because otherwise they would have been useless. And now, questionable decision of Don Klinge discasted stone into iron, and he has no mana to call reinforcements.
And he's not recruiting. Either way, he had liberated his barracks.
I'm very curious why that was, because he still has 2 iron smelters and his weaponsmith were working at the time. I don't think there was a need to use that spell just yet. And
should definitely start recruiting, because his barracks are free and he has enough settlers.
That's correct. And now the TSK swords are getting somewhat their value. They're killing just lonely archers from Don Klinge, and they're probably gonna get the priest as well. The mana is gonna trickle quite fast for the Asian, so he should have the call pretty soon. But if the TSK were to attack right now, I think that's his best chance of killing him before he has the call. And he made some more gold, I believe. Like, he has the mine, and the 8 gold ore should provide him some combat power. He has 41% combat power, TSK that is.
And he has still 2 running weaponsmith to be honest. And his mines are good. He got 2 bakers running. He got some fishers who will supply some iron mines. Yet he's producing more soldiers and having more soldiers. And the barrack is blocked again. The moment was not used, and I think this was a mistake which might lead to his own death.
Yeah, he's rebuilding the barracks south right now. I mean, it's a fine decision, but now TSK is continuing destroying his buildings. I'm not sure if he's going for the right one. Probably should go for the second farm, although I'm not sure if he would be able to crush it because it's very close to other buildings. It's sometimes the mechanics, they work very strangely. But yeah, TSK has caught up with his economy. He has 2 bakeries working fully, 2 fishes, so he should be fine. And he's sending all the fish to iron mine, so that's a good thing. Now let's go back to the bottom side because we've been focusing on the top side because it's just so action packed.
I already checked. Huppsy got some minor stone issues or bigger stone issues. His buildings are not getting ready, and he's lacking very much stone. On the other hand, he has 2 smiths running as well as TSK, and that's okay. The Asian also got 2 smiths, but they are running faster and they were running longer. So he got an advantage right now, and he also makes pigs.
Yeah, Huppsy has an advantage over TSK in that he has now is finishing second pig farm, whereas I believe TSK only now finishing the first one. So that's a big of an advantage, but he had a bigger advantage before, and TSK is still poking Donkling, and now the towers are sort of empty. There's a priest there, and he has a call. So, I mean, he should be fine, but I think he will have to call at this point. TSK has a bit of more gold than previous. Yeah, 48% combat power, so that's quite a bit. He can take...
Finally, yeah, he's recruiting now from the barracks directly to the tower, and if he's not calling fast, this tower will be gone.
Yeah, he has to
do it right now. This tower is gone either way, because there are many soldiers.
Only the call now with the priest, worth pointing out. I'm not sure if Huppsy has a convert. He should.
Yes, he has.
He's holding with that though. And the combo was
it's too late.
Unfortunately, that's a bummer. Sometimes you want to save it and it's just not worth it. But that will be the end of the aggression, I presume. TSK
but now we got a situation here. TSK lost many soldiers. He went to bowman, and if Don Klinger actually recruits now all the bows he had produced, he got a striking force that could, on the other hand, bully the Roman.
But I presume TSK... Oh, he does not have a convert, because he must have used...
he used 2 godly gifts, as you said, or more. I didn't notice. He grew his wineries faster, so he wasted much mana on ironing out his mistakes he made earlier the game.
Yeah, that's true. But I think the other team does not have gold whatsoever. Yes, there's no... Only now...
And Don Klinger is losing his left tower. It's not that important, but it's gone.
That should his safety tower there. Most likely will fall. Yeah, but they don't really have that much gold. Only now Don Klinger is starting to produce it. It's I don't think he lost that much. Don Klinger, that is. He lost the fisher and the rice farm. That was right by the border.
And he lost earlier a valuable grain farm.
Yes, that's true. And he's not even recapturing the crops that are there.
What we can tell from here, Don Klinger must have a high stress level. Really high.
Yeah.
We know all how it is to fight and build and to get all this shit together. It's really exhausting and demoralizing if you lose some buildings here. To catch up with this will be a little bit hard. Or at least exhausting.
Yeah, and his economy was good at the start, but he's because of the constant pressure, I would say, He is lacking mines, and that's, I think, the biggest issue, because he has the bread production, but he has only two coal mines, and they're not that great. And 2 coal mines for 3 weaponsmiths and 1 gold smelter, 4 weaponsmiths, sorry, it's just not enough. We'll have to add more. And there's some action going on from Alternative. He's moving out his archers. I'm not sure if he wants to just put some pressure, but it's worth remembering that they have a bit of gold. I'm not sure. Yeah, the Alternative does not have pioneers by the gold, so he cannot use it really just yet.
And on the other hand, still after calling Huppsy's soldiers, he has an advantage in the numbers and can easily defend. He will soon have level 3, and he got a pretty decent timing for this, even though he made 4 late temples. This is an advantage over the Asian, who made late mana and is boosting his mana with big temples.
I think Alternative should really send some pioneers to TSK, and they will be able to share the gold. Now Donklinge is starting to send more spies in. They're getting caught very, very easily by TSK. I'm not sure if he has any present right now. And there's TSK has 1 lonely tower above the mountain. I think he has to make sure to protect it or just destroy it, because it's an easy target for just a couple of swordmen from his enemy.
You mean TSK?
Yeah, TSK, like above his mountain. He has a few soldiers there, but if he ever pulls them back...
Alternativfrage has an even more vital tower directly at his weaponsmith, only with 1 bow. If you would spy it and send some soldiers in, it would be quite damaging.
Yep. He has a priest close by, but I don't think it's close enough to quickly defend it. But now, in terms of economy, TSK has managed to recover his poor start. He added 2 more farms and has a total of 5 now. And he added a 3rd weaponsmith, and that's and he is faster with the 3rd weaponsmith than Huppsy.
That's correctly.
Huppsy
and
only
they're both
has...
lacking some iron, because Huppsy has 128% iron mine and 171, and I think he has the mines. He has some mines on the mountain, and he just needs to build them. From what I see now, there are more iron mines than 28%, and if I check in comparison the mountain of TSK, I can see that there are already placed and built iron mines which have more than 28%. So he has to recheck what mines he got and what mines he needs in order to keep his smiths fueled with iron.
Yeah, he's suffering from lack of materials currently. I thought he doesn't have wood. It looks like he doesn't have stone actually. He only now built a stone cutter on the left hand side. I think he should add another one, because the ones on the bottom are depleted. And by the way, Huppsy also has a lonely tower at the bottom. If that was to fall, he would have lost a lot of economy. Food economy, that is.
And Huppsy probably does know of his strength, because if I compare the soldiers to the Asian, he has more, in my opinion. I could check it in the overview. We got 80 units on Huppsy, and Alternativfrage only has 60. And he is starting to have safe towers. And he's using his rare stones, which he's already missing, to grow his economy, to build more towers to defend himself, which is not needed. And if he would have some spies at the enemies, or would have known about the enemy's strength, he might have decided, he might have made another decision.
Yeah, that's true. No, I mean, the Alternativfrage could always call reinforcements, so he probably wouldn't die, but applying pressure, especially when you have level 3, is a good idea. Unfortunately, Huppsy is overflowing coal, and he's not even trying to make gold, and I think that's a bit of a mistake. They made a mistake of choosing Don Klinge as the one making gold, because Asians, they tend to need more coal than the Romans, and I think his mines are just simply inferior. There's a lot of very good coal mines at Huppsy's mountain.
Yeah, that's correct. And Huppsy has the more stable economy right now. And Don Klinge does not even have enough coal. He has one bakery, which I can't spot right now because I don't see it. In the middle, directly in the middle, but it's not enough. The first breads go probably to his worst coal mine. He hasn't changed some minor settings, which can be important in this case, having so few mines. And he's obviously focusing on making some gold. Meanwhile, many smiths are not running.
That's true. His best mines are at the south, but they're not getting nearly enough food because most of it goes to the one up top, which is only 34%. It looks like Don Klinge is finally recapturing the land that he lost early on, building a tower, also a questionable tower, could be easily taken. And Don Klinge only has 2 farms currently because he lost the one at the beginning. And I think his mistake now is too slow of an expansion because he just does not have suitable land to build, and he also has multiple struggle trees which are blocking viable space where he could build like his economy and weaponsmith and whatnot. He casted heavenly gifts right now. He got some bread and the coal, so that's good for him. I think Asians have one of the best heavenly presents in the game.
I totally agree. The stone to iron and the godly gifts, they can make so many weapons. That's just crazy. In comparison to Egypt, which just cast literally shit in my opinion, the Asians are very good.
Yeah.
But what you just mentioned, that Don Klinge does not have enough space to expand, in my opinion, the Asian on the other map, Alternativfrage, has the same problems. He's building in every corner a little bit to expand, and the shovelers are running right around, and he's not using enough pioneers. He now uses enough pioneers, but hasn't in the past to get enough good land.
Yeah, I think it's important to clear up your land of stone and this lonely trees standing around, because they block a lot of space that, and you can build for example, there's a lot of a lot of trees by the mountain where you could build weaponsmiths and iron smelters right there. And many people they just choose not to cut them down, and that forces them to expand even further, and then their economy is just not as efficient as it could be.
Yes.
Okay, looks like TSK only now is adding more production, and he's adding the gold smelter, because he's been storing gold ore for quite some time, and it is giving him combat power. Is just not nearly as much, and considering how much coal he has overflowing his mines, he should either be sending the coal on the market, which he's not doing, or just build the gold smelter sooner. And I think he's also in a bit of a settlers issue situation right now, because he does not really have...
Yes, some free at the market I see right now. He has still pioneers he can convert, and he got some medium residences to be built. I think it's good still, even though he's close to a shortage maybe.
But if I were him, I would stop recruiting right now, because you never want the number to go to 0, because when it goes to 0, that means in your land there is something that is not being carried to its destination. It's better to not have like extra 5 soldiers, instead have the people to carry stuff around.
But what I like about TSK right now, he's going to improve his economy very, very big. And while the Asian opponent is fixing his patches, TSK is just growing. He has the most farms on the map. He's even more than Huppsy, and Huppsy had no real interaction in fighting at this point, and he made many aggressive moves. This took time, and he still manages to grow his economy in the background. I like that. I really like this.
Yeah, he managed to especially recover from the very, very rough start. What I like from Huppsy is that he's adding a gold smelter. I hope he's also adding a gold mine. Yeah, he has it somewhere. Oh yeah, here it is. So that's good. I think he should be the one making gold.
I totally agree. And it seems like he's moving to attack. Or he's moving forward. I cannot tell right now, but Huppsy's moving.
He has a convert, and there is a priest from his ally that just arrived at his towers. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe he's just doing some poking around. Wants to check.
Huppsy has at least his second convert. And if we check TSK, he has his first convert.
The first one is cheaper, so that's why he has it, because he wasted so much mana on useless stuff. Let's see if they have yeah,
Huppsy is taking the gold.
He has 55 combat power. But I'm not sure I don't think he will be able to do much damage here. Although he has quite a handful of level 3 soldiers. Roughly half of his army is level 3. Whereas Alternative is only level 2. So Alternative might have to call reinforcements from his ally if he wants to hold this tower. And that's one of his 2 last towers. The second one he has is the one that you mentioned, that's in the middle of his land, and it's very, very unprotected.
Yes.
He crushed some buildings, presumably to have a better line of defense. That's pretty good idea. I wonder if he has a priest close by. Can you see? There's one up top by the big temple, and he has a core
one at the
reinforcement.
front he forgot about, and that one just got killed. Oh, he crushed the tower. He's giving it up.
He got scared, I guess, when he saw the priest. But he's still gonna defend here. That's very risky if
Huppsy has a really, really bad front at the farm there. Oh, and now I just would go back. I mean, we forced a spell. And there's no tower, there's no objective to achieve. Why not just go back for the moment?
Yeah, exactly. Go back, and that spell was a bit preemptive, I would say.
Yeah, I agree on that. And he only has one call left. So, if I were Huppsy, I would still pressure a little bit, because nothing happened right now. Only a spell got used.
And as mentioned on previous casts and in every game that I think I casted, information is like the most important resource in RTS games and in Settlers too. This tower is free. Like the alternative tower is basically free. You can send a few swordmen, and he, like, at this point he cannot crush it because that's his last tower, I believe. And he can do quite a bit of damage. And when you're attacking like this, I guess it's fine because you're just poking, but it wouldn't hurt to attack from 2 different angles, or sending pioneers, right? Even if you don't know the tower is there, just send the pioneers and see what happens. Your enemy will have to split his army.
I think Alternativfrage is recognizing his open tower and is now sending half of his army to defend this.
I think he should put some soldiers in it too.
Yeah, but now we got the interesting case that the front he is still trying to defend on the left side does not have as many soldiers as Huppsy, or maybe he has, but it got definitely less soldiers. Huppsy could be more aggressive now if he knows, but this is they obviously have no intel at this point.
No,
and they probably wait for obviously bigger numbers.
Now Donkling has recaptured the gold, and he's getting close to the border. I think he wants to contest this tower that the TSK is building by the front, maybe take it even. I'm not sure if he will be able to, because TSK, as you mentioned before, has a convert ready to defend it.
Huppsy has a priest there. TSK is not moving his priest forward. And he's obviously not having the numbers.
But I think this tower will go uncontested because he just does not have enough soldiers, and TSK has level 3 currently.
Yes, yes.
Don Klinge is 60% away from level 3. That's going to be quite some time before he can recruit level 3 soldiers. And now TSK got bold and he saw that Don Klinge doesn't have that much army and he is pushing in. He has a good concave, although that could have been a bit better, I guess, but it's still better than his enemy. And he's doing quite a bit of good damage.
Yeah. And he got the level 3, but he does not have the required KK.
And the priest is still in the back. I feel like he could maybe convert and try to go for a more serious attack, but he chooses to go back at this point. And I mean, it's alright, he's building a tower up north, so he will contest that land up there, and he's producing more gold as we speak, and he has a pretty good economy, although he's lacking a bit of iron. Only three iron mines.
Huppsy just made godly gifts and got 10 blocks of gold.
Wow, nice. And a spear or 2, I believe.
No, I think it just was 1.
The Huppsy has more iron mines, so his production should be a little bit better. And he has, well, oh my god, Huppsy has 3 pig farms. I think that's a bit too many. Usually you want to have maybe half the number of pig farms as you have bakeries, because you usually have half the number of iron mines. He went all in on that, and he also does not have enough farms to support that.
He has quite bad iron mines. He has many bad iron mines. He's just building better ones on the right. In my opinion, it would be more important to focus on the good iron mines. And it's not the case right now to support all mines on the mountain, and he should be selective about which mine gets food and which not, and which mines do he has at all, because the worst iron mine he has 25% and is probably quite close to the slaughter, and he's getting much food for a trashy iron mine.
That's true. There are good mines on the right hand side. He's only now discovering them, so perhaps when he builds them on the right, he will crush the weak ones on the left hand side of the mountain.
Yes, and TSK does not have these trashy iron mines. He only has medium good mines, and he's supporting an equivalent equal smith as Huppsy, or will probably, if he adds more pig farms.
Exactly. I'm now comparing the economies of the Roman players, and TSK has 8 farms, 2 pig farms and 3 bakeries, whereas Huppsy has 5 farms and adding 2 more. That's why I think TSK is just a little bit ahead in terms of economy. He's also producing, has produced a bit of gold already. He's adding...
I could definitely support more mines. The grain farm on the top already has 8 crops and is not producing anything more. He's not storaging it at his market, so it's somewhat a dead farm to me.
Yeah, that's true. He has level 3 with either Spies or Swordman, and TSK, I think he will run out of settlers pretty soon, because he has only 35 free settlers and he's not building any house right now. That will be a big issue pretty soon, I believe. I wonder when he's going to spot that, because if he's not going to start building the houses very soon, then he will run out completely of free settlers. He has some 40 pioneers, so that should be fine, but you really need to keep that residence building at all times. in order to have a fresh flow of settlers, and without settlers he won't be able to run additional food production, and everything will just come to halt.
I'm really surprised that Don Klinger made already so much gold in Bornasian.
Look, and his his coal mines are overflowing too. He's running out of fish currently. He does not have enough fish to support his gold mine. Very interesting. He has 4 somewhat working weaponsmiths. He turned stone into iron just recently, so they're fully working right now. Whereas Alternative has 5 weaponsmiths already, and I think his economy is slightly better because he has a pig farm, and he's not really making gold, which is a good call, I would say. He's building now the gold mine, but so far he has not made any gold, and that allowed him to kickstart his economy. And he has 6 farms right now, adding 2 more. So I think pretty soon, unless TSK runs out of settlers completely, his team would have a big advantage. I wonder if he spotted
I
that.
think he already ran out of settlers. He transformed pioneers, and they are running from the forest expansion directly back into his economy. So we already got the problem you were addressing, and he is building 3 small residences directly because he realized what problem he has.
But he's still recruiting soldiers. That's a big mistake. He want to stop that.
And he's still not transforming all the pioneers. And he has zero settlers, pre-settlers in his country. And this, having such a big economy and no residents near to be built, this is going to be hard.
And he chose to use the settlers to pure attack his enemy in the bottom, and to take the coal mine. I'm not sure if it's a good choice. Also, a good point to make about him building the residences by the border. I think that's a bit of a misplay. You want to build them as close to the material source as you can. So ideally somewhere like where the sawmills are, so that the settlers, they don't really have to carry the materials all the way across to build that house, especially when you don't really have that many settlers and he's still producing. You want to stop soldiers production at this point. Okay, it looks like Don Klinger will not contest that mine. I think he just has he thinks that he has enough coal to not care about that mine. I mean, he's gonna waste like 4 bread, but I don't think he cares at this point.
I think he neither has the soldiers to actually defend it.
Yep.
So it's wise to don't wake the lion in this case.
And he's banking on spears, interestingly enough. So he will go for level 3 spears, I presume. And now there's a bit of a fight going on at the bottom, but I think he should just go back. And Huppsy is taking gold, and he's moving out. And he will threaten Alternative, possibly on 2 fronts right now. He will attack from the left and right. However, on the left-hand side, there's already 2 large towers, and I don't think he has enough soldiers to push and capture those just yet.
Yes. Alternativfrage actually did a quite good comeback for rushing so early, and he added many soldiers to his army.
It looks like TSK has got bold and he's pushing now. He noticed that Don Klinger doesn't have level 3 just yet. That's getting very dangerous. That's level 3. He needs to start recruiting right now, and he's pulling soldiers from the north.
Yes, that's... And he's always getting us in somewhat a bad position with his units, because now we got the first convert.
That's horrible, got converted. So I think Don Klinger will fall. There's another fight going on the left-hand side, and I don't see Huppsy making that. He has a terrible angle on the left. On the right, there is not really much to take.
He will be calling him, I guess. One call the agent can call 1, but he has to be quick about it, I think.
I don't think the 1 will be enough, even with the convert. There's just too many soldiers, and how much... TSK has 64% combat power, so that's already quite a lot. I think he can take the tower on the right at least. I wonder why Don Klinge is waiting with the call. Maybe they're waiting for the priest to merge the main army. Maybe they decide to just let it go and let him die and then trade. But I don't think they can trade. So I don't think Huppsy can kill Alternative at this point.
In the north, Don Klinge is using some soldiers to attack TSK. TSK realized and crushed towers, but it would be more wise probably to gather all soldiers at the main attack and defend it. Now he's moving with many soldiers around, which could have probably turned the fight a little bit, but it seems like TSK is just finishing up in this scenario.
Yeah, now it's up to Huppsy to do some magic right here, and I mean, he needs to make miracle happen, because I don't see him taking those 2 large towers. I think he even has fewer soldiers than his enemy.
Yeah, I agree on that.
And he split his army. How much combat power he has? Almost 70, so that's not too bad, but he's fighting basically with half of his army.
Yes, and in comparison, I just checked, Alternativfrage has 180 units on the map and Huppsy only has 150. And fighting splitted in this scenario.
Nice fancy call. He called his army from right front up to his left. He has a pretty good angle, I would say, even from 2 players, but the right angle is just impossible for Huppsy. He needs to pull back from there. And even with the combat power that he has, I think he has a convert. He has 2 converts yet, so I mean, maybe that would change something.
Probably use them now.
Now is the best time ever. There's a Chiyu shield, and with Chiyu shield you cannot convert those soldiers right there.
But there are enough soldiers to convert, but he's just losing his entire army in this scenario. He waited too long, in my opinion, with the converts. He still has some converts left, and all of his units are getting killed.
The angle on the right was just very, very bad, and the left army was just too small. And he's now going back, and he didn't even use his second convert. I think that's going to be a GG. I don't think he can make that happen, because his ally just lost, and he left quite a few weapons and gold, for most importantly. So TSK should rush with pioneers and take that gold ASAP, although he probably still doesn't have settlers at this point.
Don Klinge is already resigning.
He realizes a mistake that he made.
And TSK, the lion, killed his opponent in this case.
He managed to slay the lamb. He's finishing him off right now, taking the last 2 towers up north. It's a shame. I think if Don Klinge wasn't so disrespectful towards his enemies and recruited where he should, that game could have lasted much longer.
Yes, this was interesting, and not even a small mistake, was a big mistake in my opinion, because having the lower numbers makes you lose more units, and I don't know why he waited there.
He got away with it once at the very start of not making correct units, because TSK just did not have enough to kill him. But the second time, TSK abused the mistakes that he made, and he took the victory. There's only one last tower from Huppsy.
He forgot to crush, I think.
Yeah.
But what we can see, what I want to tell, TSK actually has a heavy settler, misses settlers heavily, and he already built 3 medium residences. He might be looting, yes, but his smiths are very full. Well, we talked about it earlier. It happened. We did see it coming, and it doesn't matter now in the end. But
they will have an after chat with us after the game.
If they want to. I don't know. It's your decision. Or are they talking to us?
Let me add them to the call, right? If I can, because I had some issues in the past with that.
We never had an interview in this tournament.
No. Bear with me here, I'll try to... I think we'll disconnect from the call when I call him, so give me a sec.
Yeah,
There we
okay.
Yeah, hello?
Fearles.
Could you add Stecken to the call?
Sure.
I have no idea how to do it.
Let's see. I can at least. Oh no, wait. Oh, we need to be friends, so I can do that. I sent you an invite.
Okay, I accept it.
Oh, now it works. Okay, Alternativfrage. Let's see. So you said Steckenpferd. What's his Discord name though?
Let me check.
We can also go to the Settlers Discord. Maybe that's easier.
But there will be people joining probably.
I see.
I did it with Kinkan and Photo somehow. I have no idea why. How?
Okay, well, I'll friend Steckenpferd. 1 second.
Okay, I know. How do you... Okay, I can invite him, but I can't invite you.
Now I can. Okay, that worked now.
Yeah, we finally managed
Okay,
it.
Sure.
Let's get Alternativfrage here. I told him.
You guys want to explain yourself of why you made so many mistakes, or because we have some questions. I mean, at least I do.
Yeah. Well, let him hear so we can firstly do that. He answered, so he will do that now. he doesn't know how to befriend me. No, I think
Discord
I
is confusing for us old people.
Next stream will be on TikTok.
Next stream on TikTok, yeah, maybe that's the better one. Okay, I got him. Now. Yes. There we go.
Hello.
Kevin, you're there.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so I have a question, guys. What was your initial idea with the quote-unquote rush? Was it supposed to be rush from the get-go, or did you change your mind midway?
I was my rush was pretty bad because I was thinking about do I run in with my priest and make a call, or do I run in with my units and make a Zammu rush? And if I did a Zammu rush, I think I would have killed him. But yeah, and I run in with my start units too early, so he crushed his tower and he moved back with all his units, and that was big trash.
Why didn't you wait for the TSK to recruit? Because you could have called him too, right?
Indeed, yes. I didn't mention it, actually.
Yeah, we didn't think about that actually.
Yeah.
So we knew in the beginning that we will end up with Asian versus Romans.
Before the game?
Yeah, before the game. We knew that, like, what Huppsy and Don Klinger recently played, so that was, I think, the only way to go. So, and we saw some of the replays from Huppsy, and we actually saw that he is a guy who likes to play long game, and likes to play 4 or 5 wineries. So that's why we initially thought, okay, maybe if we got cross positions, that would be a good thing that we rush with Asian to go for 2 temples or so, to get him early, because he will probably have a good mid game, which we saw also.
Okay, so you thought that Huppsy was the greedier one, whereas in the game it turns out that Don Klinger played more greedily because he built two farms before the episode.
Correct. Yeah, that was pretty greedy. So that's why I was like, okay, well, if he plays that greedy, I should just go for swords and try something, which eventually worked out.
Yeah, you did a bit of damage. You crushed the farm and you occupied the barracks, and he was very confused. He didn't really know what to do in this situation.
Yeah, I was actually quite worried in the meantime that he gets through with that, and then just runs over me with the strength of the Asians in the mid game, with stone to iron. Yeah, but I think it worked out that his arm got crushed, his middle Wohnhaus, what's that called in English?
Residence.
Residency. Thanks.
Yes.
The middle residency got crushed. Yeah. I think I annoyed him quite a bit. I went in with pioneers like 2-3 times, and yeah, he ran around and then lost some soldiers in the south, and that somehow together. Yeah.
You made enough damage to him to slow him down to the point that you could catch up with your economy. I was very surprised by your build. I don't know if you practiced the rush or not, but you started off with the farm, and it's not how you usually rush. So by the way, did you have the rush planned before the game started, or did you decide to do it sort of in the game after you built that farm?
Well, it was not supposed to be a rush. It was just supposed to be like to go with 5 woodcutters and then try to get as fast as possible to 2 smiths, and then 2 smiths running, and then like building up pressure. That was the game plan. I mean, it wasn't the full commit rush. It was just to get something on the street to make some pressure.
Okay, and it worked out for you too. And you used a lot of mana, right? You made like 2 or 3 heavenly presents, and then you watered the wineries as well, right?
Yeah, correct.
To catch up with your level 3. Okay.
Yeah, I watered the wineries because I wanted to go for the 5 woodcutters, and that's, I mean, it's pretty expensive to go for 3 wineries there. So I wouldn't have gone through with the farm. That's why. And yeah, I knew that Huppsy is not directly there. So yeah, he called his priest, and then I was a bit worried. But then he just wasted his convert, and that made me pretty confident. So I can go to make 2 those godly gifts and get some gold.
Mm-hmm. And alternative, when Huppsy was attacking you, like the first time on the left-hand side, when you destroyed your tower, were you afraid that he might kill you? Because you had only 1 tower that wasn't completely unprotected, and we thought that if he marches with like 5 swordsmen, he just takes it. I would have been disaster.
I was surprised he could. There was a time after my rush, I had a big gap. I was struggling with my economy, and the whole game I had no iron. First I had no coal and I was expecting he will tower me on the right side, and after I mentioned, he did nothing. He just built and built and built, and I thought I found every scout, and I was not scared that something will happen with this tower in the middle, because he just focused on my left side, and that was all he done. And then I thought, okay, he should come. I don't care.
Okay.
I was not scared.
Yeah, he was very passive. You felt like he
Yes,
could have
yes.
done more damage to you if he was more aggressive. And I guess
Yes.
that they made a mistake because from them the Asian was making gold, and the Huppsy was overflowing coal for quite some time. So we felt that was a bit of a mistake from their part, forcing the Asian to make gold where he needs the coal so badly.
Yes.
Yeah, we had a mountain, like the Romans had a mountain which had a lot of coal but not that much iron. Like I had at the beginning 2 good iron mines, which were like 50-60%. And like you really needed to go through the whole mountain to get the other iron mines there.
Yeah,
I don't know if he found them.
He found them later on, but he built like more of the crappy ones, and he wasted a lot of food on them.
Oh yeah. But he
Yeah,
got more
oh.
soldiers in the end.
Oh, I
Yes,
didn't
yeah.
leave. I don't know the stats.
We used our time and watched some replays, and we knew they have a solid build. Their economy is working. They make units, but they have a big problem at fighting. They are not the best at fighting, and we knew the point will come where we maybe have the same amount of units, and we could get our advantage at the fighting. And I think also when he attacked me, I don't know what he did there. It was kind of strange, but yeah.
Yeah, he waited also quite long to use his converts. And,
Yes.
he didn't even use the third convert, in my opinion, overall. And I
Yes.
don't know what the plan was there. Maybe he already resigned and just was farming some combat points, but I had no clue what he was planning there.
Yeah,
Went
me
for
either.
4 or 5 wineries.
He went for 4
Four.
wineries, as
Four
far
and
as I
4 small
remember.
temples, yeah. But he had 3 at the beginning, and he added a 4th one a few minutes after, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, he with the Rust attack, I mean, he thought that he has to do something because his ally died, so he split his army. I mean, he had a good idea of attacking from 2 different sides. It's just he didn't have enough, I feel
Yes.
like, to do any damage, and yeah, he also waited for too long with the converts, and he didn't even cast the last one. Maybe if he went with pioneers or something, he could like do some damage, but overall the game was, I think, lost at this point.
Yeah. Also, when I was attacking, Don Klinger was making stone to iron, even if his
Yeah.
weaponsmiths were laying full. I think actually that was their window to call like 2-3 times from Huppsy and go in on me.
Yes.
I think that could have went in the completely different direction at that point. But when he made stone to iron, I was pretty safe. That was lucky.
Yeah, we were shocked why he would do that, because he couldn't even recruit the soldiers anyway because you were occupying his barracks at this point. So he made some strategic decisions, a few, and the first one he didn't manage to capitalize on that much, but the last one, I mean, he had a lot of weapons stored when you killed him at the end there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his mine points were quite high, but yeah, he didn't recruit for a long time. Like 53 minutes, he stopped recruiting, and he recruited again at 1 hour and 3 minutes. 3 minutes something.
He was waiting for level 3 on spears, surprisingly.
Is that viable to wait 10 minutes for level 3 spears at 1 hour?
No, when you're about to die, no.
Exactly. It's worth if you win. It's not good if you lose. Depends on the
Story is
situation.
made by the winners, correct. Oh well.
Right, guys, would you like to add anything?
It was a really cool game. It was quite fun. I really liked the spots, and Huppsy and Don Klinger actually kept us up at that point. 53 minutes. I was quite worried there.
Were you nervous, like at the very beginning, because it's a tournament game? It's the first one in this one, or
And
not?
you're going
course.
to be streamed and casted, and everyone looks at your mistakes. And if you perform not so good, Naga is gonna analyze you and is going to make a video about you.
I think he's doing that anyway. I mean, quite normal that you are focused on a tournament. I wouldn't call it nervous, but yeah, you need some energy in your blood to focus and play well. I think.
I'm
Yeah, I
pretty sure
think we
Don
had-
Klinger. I'm pretty
had
sure
a-
Don Klinger had many energy in his blood this game.
Yeah, I think we had luck with the teams. Maybe against another team, we would have lost way earlier, I guess.
I mean, so far I've noticed players making more mistakes than they usually do in their just normal games.
I also recognize it. There was no outstanding performance yet, I think. Like, they dominated them a lot. I know there are teams like Big Difference. Steckenpferd had a really easy game.
I
I did
didn't
my
stream that
best.
on it.
Yeah, it's we will see what the next game is. I guess next is versus Vesco and Gauzon, and I guess that will way more harder. We shouldn't avoid to make mistakes like we did this time.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, how did you feel playing Asians? Because I know you're more of an Egyptian player, right? Alternative.
Yeah, Egyptian and Romans, and Asians. I think they have a easy way to get like a good 1 hour timing. Yes, right. 1 hour timing is very easy to get with stone to iron and with the god gifts.
Mm-hmm.
You get like 8 breads or something, and that's like 60 coal or something. That's way easier than with other races. But I don't like to play the style to play Asians. I more like the way to play Egyptians with a hard rush, or Romans. They're way more solid. They have an easier way to get their level 3. That's what I more like in the way to play. But I will take a look what our next enemies like to play, and then I will try to look what I play next.
Yeah, with the stats now, you can very clearly see like what's your favorite race and what's the enemies preferring. And by the way, have you watched the Nogger's analysis? Because you started with 3 small houses, and Stecken told me that Nogger says that it's preferable way of starting.
I didn't make this in a normal game. I did it because I had no space for my middle residence. So I built a third small residence, and after that I built the middle one. But in a normal case, I built like 2 small and 1 middle.
Okay. Well, guys, I guess that's a wrap. Thank you for the game and the interview. And the game was one of the best so far in the tournament, I would say.
Oh, nice.
That's nice.
Thanks for casting.
Yes.
Have a good one. Good night. And bye to the viewers.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. Thank you.